Hi everybody, welcome to the stream. We have one of our players kind of handling some family stuff right now, so we're just gonna sit, chill, and talk for a little bit until we get back in. I'll do a quick intro, letting everyone know what happened in the last session. So it seemed that the party was on a boat. They're on a boat, and boat not have a good time. Big bloat come on, hit people die. Then storm come through, rock the boat. Big explode.
And the people all said sit down.
And they did. They sat down in the water. People floated, tried to drown. Ain't happened. Sarloth started to ride Tsena on top of a disc and pull to shore. Trash man saw things in his mind. Then saw island he has been known to inhabit in the past. Sandy toes, enter hut, hand in water make pee, make goodies for the whole group. Everybody sleep. Wizard man look at hut word, think smart, write down many times.
Many times.
Many times. But I think that pretty much sums it all up. I think that was the whole session.
Wasn't there some writing he was reading that was like super ancient?
Yeah.
Yeah, the words smart man think write down many times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the side of the hut there was etches of the Emberborn, which were the first sentient species that the deities put upon wings.
I would like to apologize to anybody who actually didn't see the session because that description probably doesn't help you at all.
I think it helped perfectly. I think people get it.
No, I understand everything that was said.
Yeah, I think it was perfect. I think even if with no context, there was a boat, people tried to swim, found an island, went to sleep.
It gives you the important information.
There was a black island, if that helps at all.
Seriously sounds like my note taking.
Yeah, lots of black rock, black sand.
Yeah, it was a black sand beach. All right, so we'll jump into everyone kind of waking up from that.
I got a thunderstorm here in case I end up disconnected.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the heads up. All right, so a shaft of sunlight, the color of aged honey, seems to pierce the dense canopy above as it falls like a spotlight onto the rough-hewn interior of the makeshift hut. Illuminating a world sculpted from damp earth and forgotten time, vines as thick and ancient as serpents coil around the gaps in between the wooden supports, with their gnarled forms casting these sinuous-like shadows that are across the floor. The air hangs heavy, thick, and damp, with the scent of earth and the subtle sweetness that tickles your nose, a sugary nectar carried on the unseen breath of some hidden, bloomed flower. A symphony of strange sounds fills the air as there's a chirps, clicks, and croaks that spill through the woven walls, creating an orchestra unlike anything you've heard before. It's a vibrant serenade to the waking world, both beautiful and unsettling. Stiffness crawls through your limbs, and a dull ache left over from the night spent on a crude bed. You rise, blinking away the remnants of sleep, as your eyes adjust to the dappled light that dances across the floor. Bathed in a golden pool of sunlight, outside the door lays a small collection of shark teeth. Their once pristine white, now stained a dull crimson. The color, a chilling echo of dried blood, seems to seep the very air around them. And beside them, scattered, are what appear to be short, charred sticks. Anyone who's starting to wake up can also look into the room and see Sarloth almost fanatically writing into their book and their journal scribbles. And as he starts to, as you start to hear everybody start to wake, there's a brief break in your hyperfixation as you realize that only but a moment ago they had just gone to sleep, and you had not even realized that it had become morning.
Oh heavens.
Can I make coffee for everybody?
You may.
That's what I'm doing, baby.
I go back
Miidyr
to
is
furiously
definitely
writing
not
whatever
a
little bit I
person.
haven't captured yet.
I'm gonna go out to one of the coconut trees and scurry up it and kind of knock some coconuts off.
Okay. Yep, you scurry up, tap a few, they start falling down. Hit to the sound of the sand, solid thud.
See if anyone peed themselves.
Also, this
They're
train
not
is
hands,
over.
it's a lot of it.
It is not. Just see.
I'll tell you right now, Snarf, your bucket's gone.
No.
I woke
we
up in
go.
the middle of the night and peed on all of them.
Including Sarloth, who did not notice.
He was so
Right.
busy.
Sounds about right.
Alright, you all are in a hut on an unknown island after a storm.
You know, rumor has it that Vince McMahon had buried a sacred chair somewhere. I wonder if it's around here.
Is
I
that
don't
all the
know.
information you have? Just that he buried a chair?
Yes.
The world's a
If
very
that's
big place.
rumor has it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Flora's gonna. Basura, does coconut milk taste good in coffee? I've never tried it like that.
I never had coffee on the island, so here, give it a try. I'm gonna hand her a whole coconut, rind and all.
I would like to use my powerful back legs to smash that coconut open.
So if you needed some extra, I could probably smash it for you.
I need you to save your strength for us, Snarf. We might need it. I've got these powerful feet here.
Oh, okay.
Might be easier if you used that mace of yours.
My chair mace?
No, the carrot mace.
Oh.
I could do that as well.
Chair
Yeah.
mace.
My boss's name is Mace. What a weird name.
Anyway, I'm gonna open it.
Yeah, you easily, with a quick whack and whack again, you hear that thunk, and it cracks open, and some of the milk starts to kind of pour off towards the edge.
Fabulous. Coffee with. I try it first before I offer it to anyone else.
It is, it's creamy, not as sweet as you were expecting. It's a little bit of an older coconut, but it seems like it would do well in coffee, at least for a substitute for what you have available.
Oh, this is gonna put some fur on some chests. Okay, I've made coffee for everyone.
I'll gladly have a cup.
Same.
No,
Maybe it'll
thank you. I
turn me
hate
a
coconut.
shade greener.
Miidyr does take a cup of coffee, but she's like half awake.
By the almighty spirits of Vince McMahon handles, I shall drink this cup of coffee and reign supreme.
I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Sorry. You guys can
Okay.
keep roleplaying.
I'll sip my coffee.
You're going to reign supreme.
Yes.
I think I should
Miidyr's
wrestle
just
you
like
sometime.
hunched over, sipping her coffee like a little gremlin, just on the ground.
Right.
Not wanting to be awake right now.
We should do an exhibition match soon. That'd be fun. I like
Yeah,
we
maybe
can
you
always
could
do fun
teach me a few
exhibitions.
things. I'd
Yeah.
appreciate that.
It's a beautiful art, I'll tell you what. People think it's fake, but it's the most realist thing I've ever had to realize.
It just doesn't seem very sportsmanlike to hit someone with a chair, though.
It's all part of the fun. It hurts, but you know what? We do it for the fans.
It
Oh,
also seems wildly impractical, if you ask me.
Weapons help knock. The goal's to hurt people, so weapons help.
A chair's not generally considered a weapon.
Snarf, you
think-
should show them the Canadian hello.
Oh yeah.
I
Do I
think
know the
it's more
Canadian
that
hello?
the chair allows him to hurt somebody and then have them still be recovered the next day to do it again.
Yeah. See, for the show, they make them out of this special ore that's very light and weight and very rubbery almost, but it looks like a
Rubbery.
strong ore.
Rubber
And they-
chairs.
Yeah, almost like a rubber chair.
Oh yeah, I heard it's like this plastine or stuff, right?
Yep.
It
Okay.
just
Good
seems
stuff.
unnecessarily complicated. I'll stick to the library, thank you very much.
The library's
stick to
good.
this
Maybe
cup
you
of
heard
coffee.
about the enigmatic sea spirits in your libraries by any chance? Any chance you heard of an enigmatic? I can't even say the word.
Enigmatic sea spirit?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, obviously, of course, but those tend to be fairy tales more than anything else.
Oh, because legend has it that Vince McMahon handles received his chair as a gift from an enigmatic sea spirit.
Oh, God.
Was it a
His
sea
buried
slug?
chair.
Maybe it was a sea slug. It doesn't say much. Doesn't say much.
What do you
Yes,
think the odds are that you're remembering this legend a bit incorrectly?
No, everyone, no. All the wrestlers know the tales of Vincent McMahon handles. It's clear. It's clear.
I think
He
the
I
odds
don't know,
are
I
quite
just-
high.
he had a grueling
seems-
battle with the sea monster that threatened his ship, and it was said that the chair embodies Vince's leadership and charisma, and it empowers him to
seems-
inspire his allies to strike fear into his foes.
It's a little too coincidental that we find ourselves on a deserted island after you've been talking about Vince McMahon handles for a week and a half, only to find out that that all of this happened with his buried chair
Yeah,
and a sea monster and things like that. Yeah,
Bulk Logan
I'd have
told
to
me
say
all
that you're
about it.
probably confusing multiple memories.
Yes, this could be. I've been hit with the chair a few times. Oh god.
Your rubber chair that's supposed to be safe to hit people with.
This is
Yeah, it
very
only
true.
knocks a few
Right,
memories loose.
Right.
Combines a couple others.
On a side note, I was looking for a ladder as a weapon. If we go to any weapon merchants, I will be seeking a ladder.
So you believe that at a blacksmith's, you're going to walk in and say, you know, I need a ladder on a handle.
I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping that's decent stats, because I've never used a ladder before.
I've got to be honest, I'm not a weapon expert. I leave
not
that to my darling dearest wife, who is not currently really awake yet. But I don't think the average blacksmith sells a ladder. I don't think they're considered weapons.
No, I don't believe so either. But you know, it's a good thing that Snarf is colorful and charismatic.
I once saw a guy hit a guy with a ukulele, a mandolin. It was this wooden stringed instrument. I don't know what it was.
Yes, colorful is certainly a word to use in this scenario.
Do you
It
think?
was probably a loot.
Do you think if you had a ladder and you could make, what if you could do each rung as a separate spell? Like,
Oh, that'd be cool.
And just whack someone with a keyboard of spells, essentially.
yeah, I mean, how
Take
cool?
my
That
spell.
sounds like fireworks right there.
I mean,
Well,
I have heard of
darling.
some interesting applications of fireball onto natural objects. I mean, it's theoretically possible.
Glyphs. I do
Somewhat
believe that
somewhat
there's
impractical, though.
a glyph
Isn't
of
there
It's
warding
liable
something
to
would
about
work
like
that
a
way.
like a book where you just like feather through it and fire a bunch of?
Oh, that's
You
funny.
telling me about it one time. I don't know. This coffee's good, thanks.
Well, yes, but you're just as likely to blow your own hand off as you are anyone else's.
I think there's
But-
way
That's
too much rum in
magic.
my coffee. Everybody seems to be making no sense whatsoever.
Don't you ever go on a theoretical journey?
Sorry about that. Y'all had to handle the boy. He was not doing great.
So we're going to get a ladder, and we're going to cast a glyph of warding on each of the rungs with separate spells in each glyph for contact to fire off. And this is Flora's idea.
If you put this spell on a scroll and wrap it around it, you can just keep adding spells to it every time you've used it.
And then it can just stay, a normal ladder, and you just use it as a wizard. You could be a wizard.
How are you casting Glyph of Warding?
I don't know.
That's my first question. Who is casting said Glyph of Warding?
I think they assume that I'm going to be casting these spells. Mysterious voice from the sky.
He's the smart guy.
Yeah, it's just God. He's just.
And what were you planning on doing with this ladder of warding spells?
I don't know.
I was gonna
have
hit
no
people
idea.
with it.
He was
Oh,
going to hit
okay,
people with it.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean that.
He's under the impression that ladders are weapons. I've tried to
It can be.
assuage that, but
Anything can be a weapon. A corpse can be a weapon if you're really dedicated.
yes, darling, I thought we promised not to talk about that anymore.
It was
Isn't that
a
illegal?
goblin, and it was fine.
Yes, well,
I once seen 3 wrestlers get taken out by one ladder.
Was it?
That's impressive.
He just held it and then turned and it just knocked them all. It was hilarious. They just fell like dominoes.
Oh, I thought maybe somebody had animated the object and then they just beat the
Nah,
people.
I don't. You know what? I don't think they animated it.
Has Canadadania ever been conquered?
So let's see. Sanada has once been conquered, but there's a big mountain by my old village, and on that mountain it was where all the it was like an Olympus of our area, and rumor had it that there was some battles.
Oh, I see. And did they fight with ladders?
No, that was a little more modern. That was Vincent
I see.
McMahon handles, I think, that brought the ladders into wrestling.
Okay.
I once knew a turtle once. He would buy a ladder and then he'd cut the rungs off and sell the 2 10-foot poles. Now, the 10-foot pole would sell for 2 silver pieces, and you could buy a ladder for 5 copper pieces. And he did that over and over and over. He'd take the profit, buy another ladder, cut that in half, sell another 10-foot pole. And it worked for a good while until the local economy kind of caught on, and then they started selling the ladders for 2 silver pieces and 10-foot poles for 1 silver piece. So he stopped making a profit from it.
Dang.
just seems like
Sounds
such
lucrative.
an unnecessary amount of work.
Sounds like an unnecessary amount of 10-foot poles for the community.
That too. What community needs that many 10-foot poles?
My question is how did he find all the 10-foot poles? Or did he make them?
No, he would buy a ladder for 5 copper, and then he'd cut the rungs off and sell the 2 10-foot poles for 2 silver pieces each.
As intriguing as this conversation has been, my coffee's done now, and I think we need to figure out a way to get off this island.
If we just hang out for a little bit, the merchant ship should come by at some point. That's what happened to me last time.
A merchant, they buy and sell things to this island?
No, but we're on their shipping route.
Oh, so we need some sort of a beacon.
Like a
I
fire.
would like to point out again the warding magic around the island preventing something from leaving. Cannot guarantee that's not going to work on us as well.
Ooh, snap.
But he
Yeah,
left
I'm not sure if the
before.
warding was on the island when I was here last time.
Well, it's definitely here now. I can still feel it tingling.
Can
Makes
you
my horns itch. Something awful.
can you follow the itch to see
All
where
3
it's
of them.
at?
Yeah, maybe there's a hole in the breach in the system.
Also, I might have a powder for that.
One of the strangest requests I've ever had. Follow the itch. I suppose I've nothing better to do for the morning. I have copied everything. You all woke up remarkably fast.
I'm a rabbit, sir.
I swear, it was only a few minutes ago that you were all sleeping.
Oh.
Or going to sleep.
Darling, that's
Did
because
you
you
not-
got stuck in your
did
book
you not-
again.
Sleep? I swear it was like 8 hours.
Do you need another cup of coffee?
No, I'm fine, thank you.
I do. I'll take another one.
Yes, I'm sharing all of it.
Senna's going to try and gather some firewood. Quite a lot of it.
Were there some shark teeth outside the house, or was that was I? Did I
Yes, there were some
see that?
blood-stained shark teeth I noticed this morning.
What? Could it be Thin Diesel?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, those I know a wrestler, and do you know what? It looks it looks a little I don't know. Looks suspicious.
Maybe it's Dwayne the Rock Lobster.
That's not quite his calling card.
This is going to be a very taxing morning.
Is he known as the Boulder?
I know Dwayne the Rock Lobster used to play for the Miriam Dolphins.
Oh, I think I heard something about that.
Another one of your rumors, perhaps.
Oh my god.
From
DM, I'm gonna look
Condemn-
around, and from my memory, was there any like ruins that like really stuck out, or like any big buildings that stuck out that is kind of like not there right now?
Your memory of your time here is relatively hazy. The when you were thrown here or abandoned here, there was a lot of things that were going on through your mind about the your crew, the vision from Tara as it was when you were on the island. It almost seemed as though what happened here was more of a blur and a forced thing, like you weren't yourself as everything was going on. What you can remember is you do remember the hut, you remember building the hut, you remember traveling deeper into the jungle-like forest of the island. You remember a strange door made from a black-like obsidian rock, and you remember hearing chanting and feeling this warm, burning sensation as it washed over your body. Those are the only vivid memories you have. Everything else is just kind of hard to grasp. Whenever you try to think about it, again, it's like a fog or a haze, as though you are taking your hand and sticking it into murky water and just feeling the texture and physicality of it, but not knowing what it is.
Do you have a pretty good idea of where the black door is?
The only thing that it tells you is deeper. Because you're you guys are maybe 60 feet from the shore. You aren't very far from where you landed.
Okay, I'm gonna head over to my thinking stump and just kind of plop down on it.
And as you plop down on your thinking stump, the feeling of remembrance of your ass as it is cupped and lovingly pulled into the wood, fiber, and grain seems to, for some reason, kick in your neurons a little harder, a little better. And there is a jolt of intelligence and thinking as you just start sitting there and start focusing and thinking and mulling through the memories of you being here. The rest of the party kind of, as they're going through their motions, and they kind of look over at Basura, and there is almost a lack of focus that you see on their face, almost as if they're just kind of staring at one spot and just out of it. A state of consciousness that Sarloth is all too familiar with.
has been a long evening, but fruitful.
Yes, Sarloth. As you finally get the last of your notes in, triple checking, quadruple checking, deca checking, if you want to go into it, you have accurately produced the length of what has been written or carved into the hut itself. While it does include a number of the characters that you are familiar with, again, the vast majority, I would probably say upwards of 75 to 80%, are brand new characters that have never been seen before. You were able to accurately, I'm just going to give it to you. Normally, if you were to just said, hey, I was going to do it in a roll, I'm just going to give it to you because you spent all night doing it and took it a level of exhaustion, which is a massive, massive exchange. You are able to accurately take all of this down. Now, the context of which and the understanding of which is way outside your sphere of knowledge. But it is still something that there are many professors of history that would love to get their hands on this and study it. And there's probably only a handful that would have the expertise to actually start working to break this down and figuring out if they can come up with some sort of meaning behind it. You have a few colleagues.
Knowledge.
You know of two. You know of two colleagues that this is a powerful bargaining chip, as you are one who is in the business of research and academia. It is just like a business, and knowledge is the currency. So you have a pretty substantial, if not one of the most interesting breakthroughs that Illustrian academics have seen for quite some time. So you have a bargaining chip that you could use for information, for whatever you may see fit. But you know that the gravity of this particular information and research is widespread. This could turn the understanding of the of Illustra's earliest known sentient beings into something that's, again, it's one of the places that no one knows a lot about it. There's very few ruins, very few things that actually go back to this time, and Amberborn is a topic of fascination between a lot of the academics who research history, especially those who research theology of the deities and what they were like before the schism and the binding.
Fascinating. This is going to change history.
Flora, as you're getting the coffee ready and kind of pushing it through, as you're looking, as one does when they are cooking and keeping focus as a skilled artisan of the culinary craft, and you looking at the vivid greenery that's around you and the filtered, bright sunlight that is coming through the canopy above, flickering and shining off some of the waxy leaves and the colors that hit the forest floor and the foliage around. There's a brief moment where, in between two trees and deep, almost camouflaged, you see a large elk kind of staring at you. And you get this feeling of home.
In a good way.
It is a warm and inviting feeling.
I'm gonna like put finish up what I'm doing, but trying to maintain eye contact on that elk out there. I give it a little nod.
And there's that familiar feeling of Lotus acknowledging your focus and attention. But there is a slight give of waiting waiting for something from you.
I put a cup out as well of coffee.
And as you go to set it down, you see as vines go to reach around it and pull it into the ground itself. But there is another, not what it was expecting. And it turns to walk away, and you can kind of see its hindquarters move and shift between the deeper part of it, and then it looks back to you expectantly.
Hello, friends. I gotta go. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the woods. I know it sounds like a really bad idea, but my god is over there, and it's not a god who usually talks to its followers. So, I'll be back. Bye. And she's gonna like gather up her stuff and go.
I'm gonna hop up and chase after her. I'm gonna be like, "Watch out for the coconut crabs!"
Snarf is curious why everyone's running out, and he's like, "What? How are you guys moving this fast? And I gotta do my yoga." Start stretching.
Okay, bye.
As Flora, as you go and get everything quickly together and start running into the forest, you see Basura immediately jump up and start following you. And as Basura jumps and follows, Lotus spooks and runs, bolts, and disappears in the foliage.
Well, damn.
And you hear again inside of your head, calm.
Shit. Sorry, it's been a moment.
Do you stop?
Yep, she immediately stops, and she has this very sad look. Like, this is pretty depressing. It's been a long time since she's seen Lotus, like, for a very long time. And she's been underground this whole time, so...
I'm gonna walk up next to her and be like, I mean, the coconut crabs aren't that bad. They're just kind of big. They move slow.
No, it's okay. I thought I saw something, but I think it's just the heat getting to me. I'll have to investigate later.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna go get breakfast. I'm just gonna trudge into the woods.
Just aimlessly, or do you have a direction?
Where I'm kind of feeling like where this door is.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a how do I want to do this? Give me an intelligence survival check. So using your survival, but instead of it being wisdom, you add your intelligence modifier to it. Okay. As you step into the... Yeah, so you just add your intelligence modifier, whatever your intelligence is.
Yeah, it's a 0.
Okay, so it's a +0. Yeah, so it would just be a 3. Or actually a 2, technically.
Oh.
Yeah, a 2. As you leave Flora just kind of looks a little bit flustered and kind of almost off kilter, and she turns around and starts walking back. You move into the jungle further, and you take a few steps in, and there is a feeling of an untamable raw force that kind of seems to permeate and connect the flora around you. There's a memory that of your time here that kind of opens itself up, of you starving and not able to find food. For as you tried to dive into the ocean and seek, there is no sea life around here that you can remember. And as you trudge deeper in, the pangs of hunger and the pulling of your psyche focusing on anything that you could eat, you are almost brought back to that same moment. And you feel yourself reliving the steps that you took before. And you end up in a small alcove of a large rock-like mountain structure that seems to head up further upland into the island deeper. And there is a small effigy of what looks to be a large great white shark that is kind of placed down upon, and it looks to be carved of some type of palm wood. And another memory kind of connects as you remember praying to Tara to give you food, to sustain you upon here. And there was a kind of an exchange or a feeling of maybe I should give an offering. And you were inside of this alcove. It's small, probably only about 15 feet deep, and a couple of rocks scattered around. And you remember yourself, even though hungry and weak, you carved this shark pendant and placed it down.
Alright, I'm gonna pull off my pendant that I've been wearing. I'm gonna lay it down, just kind of like how I did before. I'm gonna kind of look around, a little awkward, and then kind of get down on my knees and like put my hands up, like praying next to the bed kind of style, and be like, Tara, you know I'm not the best kind of person to pray, but we're kind of stuck here, and if you could help us out, really appreciate it. Also, this Harbinger of Doom thing, is there kind of a workaround that? Where, you know, like I don't kind of kill everybody, but, you know, I don't know, like, is there like another option?
As you dig deep into your core and your center, which is something you haven't frequently done lately, you have mostly been trying to survive, and then as you entered Nylora, again, it was mostly trying to get a foothold in things, trying to grasp at things. And as you actually focus in and focus on the needs of what needs to happen, you feel a tremor that kind of shakes the ground, and there's the air fills with this electricity and the smell of ozone and burning air. And then the symphony of the jungle seems to slowly pull out, slowly become more dissonant and away. There is a voice that seems to boom around you. It sounds like crashing waves and grinding glaciers. So the coral-stained whelp remembers his deity after all. Where were your prayers when you abandoned the tide? Where were your pleas for guidance as you wallowed in self-pity on this island? And her voice seems to slither and push deeper within your psyche, weaving images of battles, crushing despair, and there's a wave of nausea that kind of pulls over you. And then there is a sight, her voice seems to be almost amused. Perhaps you grovel for power now. Perhaps you grovel for whatever it is that you seek. do not mistake yourself. You are a mere instrument, a tool to be used and discarded when your purpose is served. Speak your purpose, thrall, but choose your words wisely, because I am not easily appeased as I was before.
Lady Terra, I've heard all these legends about a red-skinned Triton just pretty much destroying the surface and leading everything into the ocean. And there's some good people up here. Like the people with me. The 5 of them. And I don't want them to die. But I know you have some plan for me.
And then there is a slight pause before almost a murmur instead of her strong voice comes through. Then play your part. Find the link, the anchor, and unhinge it from the bottom. Remove it as it digs its large point into the skin and flesh, and tear it asunder, break the chains. And then we shall see if you are truly the tide that brings the blood. And then there is a slight dull, as though a wave is pulling from shore. As you hear clacks of rocks and the sound of the synchronicity of the buzzing insects and the slight breeze of leaves hitting each other and scratching over as your consciousness returns back. And you can see both offerings have been singed and burned.
I'm gonna collect whatever little remnants of the 2 offerings and make a nice little pile with them. I'm gonna stand up, dust myself off, turn around, and head back to the camp.
Alright. Flora, as you return, as you watch behind, as you're kind of flustering back towards the camp, as you look behind your shoulder briefly, hoping to see Lotus again, you see Basura kind of just make their way through the forest and just start looking around, almost as though they're looking for something in particular. And you head back in, and Snarf is kind of sitting down drinking their coffee. Sarloth is being... Miidyr is slowly trying to nurse Sarloth ever so slightly without pushing boundaries. And you see Tsena almost anxious. I wouldn't say anxious. I'm not going to give that emotion, but there is something a little off.
No, anxious is right.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know. I don't like giving emotions to players, but...
Senna's he's got anxiety right now.
Okay. So there's a feeling of, like, apprehension towards the future.
I said let's follow this itch and see if we can get off of this island and get back to what we were doing. I would like to make sure my boys and my girls are safe.
Yeah, I can't miss the Oricochet Festival. I got a wrestling match.
Yeah, I would like to be able to go home again at some point. As much as adventure is nice, bed is nicer.
Home is quite lovely.
Yeah.
I will follow my horn itch, I suppose.
If you'd like,
Which
Flora,
one?
you can give a hand. I've only got the makings of a small fire here, but we're going to need a lot more if we're going to signal a merchant vessel. And we should also find out what Sarloth means as far as the inability to leave.
That's
Well,
what I was thinking of. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Snarf.
I was gonna say I got a chair. I can cut down some trees for you.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Good idea, Snarf.
That's just the name of my weapon, the chair. It's actually a big
Oh.
axe.
Thank God.
The joke
I
is
was
it's,
going
it's
to
called
attempt not
the
to
joke is it's
judge on
called a
that one.
wrestling chair, but it's actually an axe.
Wouldn't a
You see a
wrestling
wave
chair
of
be like a
calm.
blunt weapon?
Well, my only problem with going to make the fire pit, the signal to get us out of here, is what if they get trapped as well? And
It's a
now
distinct possibility.
not only are we having to make sure we're staying alive, they're gonna sound like that baby in the background. Whose baby is that?
Sarloth, do you speak Indian smoke signal?
Well,
No,
if we
that is not one of the several languages that I speak, I'm afraid.
Dang. I was saying maybe we could do like smoke sign language, but yeah, if you don't know the Indian trick, I don't either.
if we end up accidentally trapping the merchant vessel here because we can't leave, well then we're going to have to do something because civilization is going to have to be restarted by us here on this island. So, more people the merrier.
Interesting. I like it.
Sarloth, can you give me a perception check? Just remember that you have disadvantage because of your exhaustion.
Yep.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna head over to the hut and collect all
Oh,
those.
you are still experiencing your thing
oh.
while this is going on. Yeah, that's
Okay.
why. Yeah,
Alright.
this is the time while you're experiencing yours. This is the time that's going on during that. Okay. So a 7. There's a slight shift in that feeling of binding or restriction. And this is just raw intuition at this point. As you feel it, you are trying to focus on it, but the nerves that you have overworked and the brain that you so lavishly protect and relish in is failing at the lack of sleep. And as you feel this shiver that kind of runs down and inside of you, it's almost as there is a distant melody that is barely audible above the slight breezes song. And yet it carries a feeling of purpose, almost like an echo of a forgotten language, like a whisper from a time before this place existed. And as you again pull and try to focus in on it, it's lost again as your grasp falters, as if a barrier to accessing your ability to focus has been bolstered and entrapping the basics that make you Sarloth. This exhaustion affects your whole being, and this is your first. You have stayed up nights. You have spent many sleepless nights studying and researching, but you always had rest or some way to compensate afterwards. in this particular situation, you realize that pushing yourself to the extreme in a unfamiliar and unforgiving landscape has consequences, and you are unable to bring yourself to overcome those currently.
Darling, I do believe I've made a mistake staying up all night. I swear I
try to
heard
warn
music.
you. Do you
Yes,
need to
well,
sit down?
No, I should be fine, I think.
Do you want to take a nap? I know how to choke a guy out.
No, I don't believe that would quite help in this situation, but thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Swear though, every time I turn my head, I hear music.
Where?
I can't tell. Whenever I try to focus on it, it fades.
Put your hands over your ears. See if it's still there.
As you go to put your hands over your ears, the music muffles.
Yes, the music is still there, as is now my heartbeat in my hands. It's very disconcerting. I think I'm just overtired.
All right.
Does it-
If you need
Never let-
anything,
Never let it be said an academic doesn't, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, one time I had a last man standing match, and apparently you gotta be the last man standing, and we went for like 2.5 days. Whew.
Well, we might
Seems
need
rather-
you in.
Hmm.
We might need you in your full capacities, especially if you know something about this island and are leaving it. So, I'd recommend you rest, and we'll just wait for that merchant ship that Basura was talking about. In the meantime, watch over you.
well, how long was he here before the merchant ship showed up is the question.
No idea, but then again, how long has it been since the last time the merchant ship was on this route, and before we arrived on the island?
And does it still take this route?
No
Also, that
idea.
storm is pretty terrible, so it could have always
Well,
messed up the merchant ships too.
Maybe your husband saw something on that, the scrawlings that he's been doing, but I don't think that I'm going to get much good out of him while he's in this state. You might need to rest.
He does.
To answer your question, it's nothing that I don't already know. Minus the 70% that I don't know and have no way of translating.
Wow. That almost made sense.
Yes, the scratches on the wall will help us in future endeavors, and by us I mean all of society and academic history.
How can it help? What's in the pet? Never mind.
Rest, yeah, let this man rest.
I will say again, I don't think the merchant ship will be able to rescue us. I can't place it, but there is something that is preventing something from leaving this island, and I doubt we are immune to it.
Well, then there is no point in stressing about it right now. Rest, darling. Please.
I will do my best. But that accursed music, I don't know how much rest I will get. Finny?
In the meantime, Flora, would you mind us talking to our red friend over there? Make sure that he might still be among the land of the sane.
I've started seeing some things on this island, so I think it just might be this island, and I don't know, maybe we should follow the music, follow the itch. Maybe Basura knows where to go.
I don't hear any music.
I mean, I don't either, but I haven't really given it a good listen.
I think we need to gather ourselves and figure out what our next point of purpose is.
Getting off this island should be paramount, I think.
Agreed, but some want to explore it.
Everyone can give me a nature, history, or insight check. Each have different DCs and will give different information. But it all correlates to the same outcome. So, 20 insight, okay. Insight. History.
Am I part of this check?
Yes. 16, 13.
Non nat 20.
11. Okay. Flora, as you are listening to the group talk and discuss the island itself, how y'all are going to leave it, how Basura themselves had a merchant ship that arrived, there is a feeling within you as you're trying to piece this kind of things together and kind of feel, how does this settle within myself? And something is off. There are a few things that people are saying, especially the island doesn't, there's something that is being held or prevented from leaving, and that includes us. That seems a little odd. Also that Basura was here and a merchant ship happened to just come by seems, again, kind of interesting. Because how did he didn't really mention how he signaled this merchant ship. Merchant ships don't usually come close to islands that they don't plan on stopping at. Let alone, why would they come for a help signal? Depends on the merchant ship, I guess. But it just seems there's a lot of things inside of your gut. You're getting this feeling that things aren't adding up. Miidyr, as you are also hearing this, there again, you're getting kind of that same feeling. There are pieces that people are discussing that are not connecting. And there is something that you all have experienced and the area around you and what people are talking about that isn't quite being talked about nor made a point of. Sarloth, as you're going through your history, on 11, as you're kind of racking through the slight migraine that's forming, it's hard for you to remember how many islands off the coast of Versailles towards the north have black sand. Snarf, as you're looking around, these are tropical to subtropical flora. High humidity, very high sunlight. And Nylora is a northern coastal town, which is typically consisting more of high winds, colder weather. The flora that is here, unless you have been blown or the storm took you way south or way west, that doesn't make sense. Basura, as you're feeling inside of yourself and digging at trying to, your gut is telling you that something is missing. There is a piece of what you're here for that is not being explored. Did I get? Oh, Tsena. Yeah, same thing, Tsena. It's with that lowers is that something is not being discussed. There is a avenue or a path or a knowledge or something is just not being explored.
I'd like to go for a swim.
Mhm.
I'd like to stay somewhat close to the shore.
Okay.
And see if I can find any drop-off points in the, where it just suddenly gets really deep or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get a feel for the shape of this island.
So are you going to start to... How far do you want to swim out, and how far are you going to swim around?
Probably going to go out about 50 feet.
Okay.
And if I can find a drop-off point, I'm going to go down until I can see the bottom again.
All right. You'll see Tsena just start to walk off towards back to shore.
Is everyone just walking out on their own in what is apparently a cursed-ass island?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't be going by ourselves.
I'll go with Tsena.
I have a curiosity, Flora.
Maybe we'll run into Basura. He was looking for something when I was coming back.
I think he's lost his mind. I'd like to see things for myself. I'm not sure that this island... It doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. I want to take a look at it.
Basura, you exit through the thicket and see the hut and Flora and Tsena leaving towards the south.
I'm gonna follow behind them.
All right, Miidyr, Sarloth, and Snarf. You see Basura exit from the northern jungle and just kind of cross and start following Tsena and Flora.
I kind of do that, kind of like vague, kind of like look around a couple times and see them, then start following them.
Odd.
Yes. It's not the only thing about this island that's odd, though, darling.
No, indeed. I'm gonna... Because everybody else seems to be doing it. I'm gonna see about looking just around the area, like doing almost like a widening perimeter check, starting at the edge of the floor and going maybe about 20 feet out from where the hut is.
So basically kind of like doing like a scouting, but in a spiraling pattern that increases in radius?
Yeah, just
Okay.
to see if I see anything strange or dangerous or unusual.
Okay. Sarloth?
Don't leave me alone. I'll get up and follow.
You have Snarf.
Yes, the man with the chair.
I would trust him to protect you as well.
All due respect, Snarf. I would rather stay with my dear wife.
Sure, this chair will keep us pretty safe.
I'm sure it will, and you are welcome to join us if you would
Maybe,
like.
yeah,
to.
I don't want to be alone, so yes.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm gonna start the patrol, I guess.
Join the party.
I would swear the music just turned into the sound of a babbling baby.
Darling, I think that's a sleep deprivation.
I can't be convinced that I'm not hallucinating this entire morning, dear, so...
Also, how do you know what a babbling baby sounds like? You've
I
never
have
really
heard-
interacted with one.
I have heard children before. I used to be one. at some point in time.
And you remember that.
Unfortunately,
Impressive.
it's very painful not knowing what was going on in my life.
It's life. You don't always know what's going on.
I generally know what's going on, dear. Except for today, now that you mentioned it. I don't like it.
It happens.
Tsena, as you come back to the black sand beach that you had all swam upon at your first breach here, you look out to the horizon and see a endless sea, but no storm. Just clear blue skies. And you feel the heat and oppressiveness of a late morning sun that is casting down upon your dark skin, absorbing some of that heat further than it would normally. And you walk towards, feel the warm, salty liquid flow across your feet, and you jump in. The first splash into the water feels refreshing compared to the stagnant air above. And the water seems an unnatural turquoise that seems to kind of shimmer. As unsettling as it is beautiful. And as you dive deep and look around, you see nothing but silence. No fish, no playful dolphins. Just the rhythmic pull and push of water as the waves and tide push in. Though you see remnants of life. A vibrant coral reef off to your right seems to circle around and hook around the island's west side. And various rock formations that have caves and deeper recesses that life would find a way to hide into and adapt to. But nothing seems to move besides yourself and the scintillating sun that catches the surface and refracts against the sand and natural formations below, almost hypnotically creating patterns off the surface. And as you go up for your first breath of air and you look back, Flora, did you join Basura?
I'm watching from the shoreline.
Okay.
I
I'm
really don't.
standing. Yeah, I'm standing next to Flora, like lifeguarding.
Looking back at the island, the canopy seems normal, but a flash of silver kind of catches the sunlight, and immediately you look down to see if a fish is there. But there is a ghostly-like image that seems to just fade into the water itself and disappears before you're able to fixate upon a form. The movement is unnatural, almost a twitch, rather than something that is purposefully moving. And as you look above at the sky, the calm blue, the familiar celestial bodies seem to dance in iridescent light like phantoms, and there is a low melodic drone hum that seems to vibrate through your body rather than connect with your ears.
I think Senna would divine sense undead almost immediately.
Okay. As you tap into your senses, and they slowly start to bleed out from you. At 5 feet and 10 feet, there's nothing. 20 feet. 60 feet. You sense nothing. No life, no undeath.
Thought I got a good night's sleep myself. Oh. What was in that coffee? Hey, Basura, where are all the fish?
And as you look back 50 feet from shore and yell, Basura, you kind of see a, Tsena kind of sit up and kind of look at you and yell something at you. And don't hear anything.
Can I hear what he said?
Mm-mm. You both kind of just wait, and then as you kind of look back at them, they don't respond.
I'll swim back to shore.
Okay, and go ahead and give me an athletics check for swimming back.
Yes, sir.
Doggy paddling for show.
As you are pushing back to shore, there is an almost opposite force that seems to want you to stay into the water. Almost like it's a cruel mockery or a twisted reflection of vibrancy. And there is a brief moment of clarity. And this is not an island that is produced from physicality, as you feel forced in one direction, but your will is telling you another. But this is a manifestation of Tara herself. The beauty is undeniable, yet there is a taint by the eerie absence of what should be there. It's a playground where the toys are broken, and there's a reminder that the capricious deity's power is faltering, and there's a potential cost of what might happen when her whims fall silent.
Great.
Does it look like he's struggling in the water?
No. Actually, it seems as though he moves forward but doesn't make distance. There's no struggling. But you see him swimming, and you, a very, very trained swimmer, he should have made that 10 feet, but seems to be staying at the same distance.
Do I notice that as well?
You can give me a perception check. 20. Yes. Oh, yes.
Damn.
You notice that, although not struggling, there is no gain. And actually, it almost seems as if there is a loss.
I'm going to start to wade out into the water.
No. Come back. I'm going to grab a rope and tie it around my waist and hand her the rope. Be like, you're stronger than me. I'm going to go out there, grab him, and then pull us in.
Okay. You're going to be definitely the stronger swimmer, too.
I'm going to take off my tricorn hat. I'm going to sit it down on the ground, and I'm going to look back at her and be like, you need to talk with him about his sanity, because swimming out into the ocean is not a good idea.
I feel like you guys are gonna be fast friends.
There's sharks out there.
And then I'm gonna dive in and try to
And,
swim out
you
to him.
know, the depths.
Would Tsena have noticed that he didn't make progress?
No.
Okay.
Basura, as you tie and you see Flora around the race also pull in, we're going to switch over to... Actually, we'll take our break. We're at 5:30.
Okay.
If you guys... we did start late. If you guys would like to move a little bit further down, we can start our break now. How would you guys like to proceed?
It's all good, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm
lunch
comfortable.
real quick.
Okay, so let's just do a small break. That's fine. Let's go ahead and do a small break, and then we'll reconvene.
All right.
Coolio.
hi.
Cleo took a heck and poop, honey.
Did she let you know?
Stinky.
Stanky.
No, but there's a lot of aggressive scripture going on right now. So I think the screams are coming shortly.
There's so many scritchins.
Aggressive post-poop screams.
Probably.
And all the sailors say brandy on the fire drink. What a bad drunk I will be.
Well, I've played enough Dishonored to know what to do with a drunken sailor, so
Yes, but what do you do with the drunken reaver?
Early in the morning.
I think about the same thing.
Reaver from Firefly?
Yeah.
I assume they get
Right.
drunk.
dum dum dum. Welcome back, everybody. We're back from our break. We had just witnessed that Tsena saw the death. There is nothing out there in that ocean except empty holes and colorful things that used to have things. We also see Basura tie a rope to themselves and attach it to Flora, as though there is some underlying connection outside of the fourth wall that seems to connecting them together. And tonight, we shall explore the connections between all of these things and the wonderful island of Tara's destruction. Please continue. We shall start with Basura on the edge as he's looking towards the sea and dives in. And we will immediately move to the other two people that have not been doing anything. Miidyr, go ahead and give me a perception check as you are circling around the camp, scouting.
Oh, I suppose I can do that.
12.
I tried.
You did.
I think that's a good one.
No, you did. The first lap, as you're moving through the brush and you feel the edges of the leaves brush against your shin and your calf, there's kind of a feeling of Saul's hand upon your waist. And there's a memory of intimate connection, and as though these plants are placating and encouraging a growth. It's almost as if the life forces that these are pushing and portraying are recognizing the connection that Saul and you have. And as you further your steps and widen your radius around this scouting pattern, there's a feeling of something else watching you. Almost needing or requiring what you can provide. And each step seems to add and compound upon itself. And there are memories that kind of interject this almost walkabout that show Saul in lights that you never really pegged or kept a memory of. Late night when you are slowly falling asleep on the couch in his study, and the perception and your mind seems to be flittering in and out. You can see Saul, although he is focusing on his studies, there are brief glimpses of him walking over, exiting his focus, and covering you with a blanket. And there are times that you are in deep anger and frustration with yourself for failing or for trying to overcome something that you could not. And the focus at that particular time was, why can't I? Why am I not able to? But this particular image shows Saul behind you and encouraging, putting their hand on your lower back as you are trying to figure out the next step to take in your investigation, a gentle look and blink into your eyes as they say, "Don't you ever forget my tea again." And there is a warmth and a embrace on many occasions where your mind was focused on the case and not about what was in front of you. And Saul's gentle embrace seems to connect these memories to the things that you felt initially and the focus of your work at the time. And as you step through this growth and this budding and this blooming of life around you, colors are vivid, they're more accepting and feeling of pushing energy into the direction that you're moving.
I think Miidyr would like kind of slow down to almost linger in that moment, those thoughts.
Each linger is a bask in something that you previously didn't focus on. And as you're walking through, there's a few giggles as you see the lighter side of things. Especially during your travels this past year, going along the coast, going through the Brittle, up north towards Versailles. And there is a deep connection with Saul that you didn't feel before. There was always love. There was always care. But now there is a current. There is a well that has been created, and you both add to it. And as it fills, something is growing between you. Deeper than the marriage and the relationship itself.
I'm gonna kind of glance back at my sleep-deprived husband and drop back to kind of walk beside him and just offer him my hand.
Oh. I'll grasp her hand.
And when you grasp her hand, this is a deeper grasp. You have felt the grasp before as one of connection, togetherness, and forward direction. This is more of appreciation, understanding, and true understanding and love. I mean, for lack of a better term. And there's a obvious difference between this handhold and the ones that you had experienced previously. A warmth and a push of energy and an exchange.
I'll give her hand kind of a squeeze and, look at her. I love you too, darling. Are you okay?
Yeah, this place is just So beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful. That's the word we'll go with, sure.
And as you're saying beautiful and realizing the logical and analytical applications of it, Miidyr is fully crying. Tears are just flowing down. Rivers of salt and pain. There is an underlying feeling of pain that you haven't seen her feel before.
I'll stop and wipe away a tear. Darling, what's wrong? I know I shouldn't have stayed up all night last night, but
No, it's far from the first time.
well, then why are you crying?
I just love you so much.
I love you too.
Miidyr just hugs him.
And as you embrace, there's a line of almost unlimited energy that connects your hearts and binds and funnels between the emotions that are being felt right now, the logic and calculation of Saul between you and your emotional and irrational state seem to be almost complementing and building and purchasing off of each other. I offer you this, but I offer you this in exchange. And it is a torrent and waterfall of beautiful acclamation of selves that are melding and creating forms that you aren't familiar with. Saul has read and has experienced the world outside himself. And Miidyr has hidden and pushed themselves deeper in order to protect and blossom within themselves. And there is a crack in the facade as these vines interwoven into each other and grip and share nutrients, almost as though it is a drain and a gift, pumping lifeblood into each other to sustain the other with what the other needs. And the embrace slowly lets go. And as you're looking into Saul's eyes, there's a recognition that you haven't seen before. Something's there that you've never seen. A spark. A longing. A description. A poem. And you can see the tiredness and the exhaustion and the ever intricate analysis of the situation slowly come back. Basura. Actually, Snarf. I'm sorry. Snarf. What are you doing?
I was watching this beautiful moment. I was like, damn, that is the most beautiful thing ever. And on second note, I think I'm going to go make a sundial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find little bits of wood if I can gather it. If I need to
Okay.
chop with my little axe, and my goal is to get a direction of the sun, so I can kind of get a better directional sense. Not like, but just kind of like a general, like, okay, we're gonna be. I'm gonna try to track the sun.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check just to do the general gathering.
I would like to help with the sundial. Like, I'm gonna like, be like, oh, sundial. Yes, I can help with the sundial.
Miidyr
course.
just fully sits on a stump, just still crying.
I feel like it's a simple. I saw it in the book once. I feel like we can make it.
Yeah, of course, obviously, Snarf. Yes.
Snarf, you have advantage on your survival check.
Oh, dude. Oh, okay.
That's a 19. I mean, that's a fucking great check,
23.
but
No. No. That was a
10. Okay.
Right? I was like, come on. Baby.
Saul and Sarloth and Snarf, as you are moving through and finding the particular woods that need to make a sundial, you find a very strong piece of wood that seems to be the center pedestal. You find a decent diameter of wood that you could probably chop and straighten out and plane in order to make the top base. And you find a couple of pieces of wood that you could make the triangular centerpiece on top work relatively well. Sarloth, as you're talking with Snarf about getting the it all set up, you also realize that it has to be in direct sunlight. There can't be anything that happens to obscure the sun, as that will kind of affect where it's going. And so you realize the shore would probably be the best, or moving higher to where the canopy cannot affect it.
Two very good options.
Yes. Well, I mean, I suppose if we're on the shore, we're less likely to get lost that way.
So,
Moving
yeah.
up to the mountain while my wife seems to be somewhat incapacitated is not the most brilliant idea.
No, I
We
can
can-
I can do it. It's fine. I'm fine.
Darling, I think you need to sit for a minute, please.
No, it's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Let's leave her on her stump for a moment.
Okay, yeah. She can have a moment.
Yes. I don't quite know what happened there. Anyway,
This island does strange things to people, I'll tell you what.
I'm very uncomfortable on this island.
Don't worry, we'll find a
Love
way out of
you.
here.
I love you too, darling.
Yeah, we'll make ways towards that shore.
All right, as you're making your way to your shore, Basura, with the rope around, feeling secured, you look back at Flora, nod, and start moving deeper into the water. Flora, as you look around you, I need you to make an insight check.
$13.
You realize there is not a lot that can hold you here. You're looking down at the sand and the large, black, smooth rocks. And there is a conclusion that if you were to try to anchor, your only anchor is down. There is no grabbing onto anything. There is no other force than to move further down. And if you were dragged, hypothetically, and this is just an insight check, into the ocean, there is nothing that is going to stop whatever is going to pull Basura in. As the ground dips beneath the wave's surface and pulls deeper under. You are relying specifically and only on your ability to hold your position by pushing your legs into the sand and the rocks beneath you.
I'm gonna cast bless on myself.
Okay.
Is Is Basura still around yet?
Yeah,
or did...
that's
okay.
completely fine. Yeah, you can cast Bless on him as well. But as soon as he breaks outside of the line of... Because the 50-foot row... Oh, wait. How far is the... Oh, thank you for posting. It's 30 feet. So he's going 50. So as soon as he breaks that 30 feet, the Bless is off.
Well, I'm still gonna put it on him, so...
Okay. Basura, you now have Bless. Flora as well. Okay, Basura.
I'm just mumbling to myself, fully armored paladin swimming into the ocean.
Super smart.
As you plunge into the water, there's a wave of dread that washes over you. The vibrant turquoise that you saw as you plunge your head underneath is now replaced with a churning mass of inky black. The playful bioluminescence that was once shining and refracted off of the sunlight above now emanates from the depths as though skeletal shadows are writhing beneath the surface. And that slight tone and hum of the island itself seems to become a cacophony of screams and whispers of tormented voices of the churning depths. But there is a single voice that cuts through. One laced with power and a chilling familiarity. It's Tara. But fractured, broken, and it speaks in sentences that seem to be of a torrent of emotions, and the words seem to be ripped and torn. Bound, imprisoned, stolen power. As it echoes through a deep-seated rage of primal fury. Shell weakens. Gates open. As a sliver of fear cracks through the rage. Your sacrifice. Tide vengeance. The voice contorts into a cruel promise. As the images flash through your mind, a chaotic kaleidoscope of visions. Flora, you see Basura dive in, and there is a moment of pause when one should swim and are immediately launched as though jettisoned from the sea itself, tossed upon the shore, and slammed into the black sand, and you can hear an audible as they hit the sand and slide, as the grooves of their body hitting are deep. And Basura, you wake up and see Flora rushing over.
Oh, that was a bad idea.
Do I get the sense it's going to be like that scene from Moana every time she tries to throw the necklace? The ocean throws it back. Except much more aggressively.
No.
You saw that... Yeah, I'll give you that. Fuck it. I don't want... Yeah. You get the sense that Basura is not made to enter this sea.
Oh, okay. Do you...
on a side, you guys can keep talking. Tsena, can you give me an athletics check, please?
I was about to ask how's
Yeah.
Senna looking?
Yep. Just about to jump into that. 14. Tsena, you there's something that is odd about you swimming. You are now starting to notice that I should be swimming. This is only 50 feet. This is nothing And as you start to push through, there's almost a resistance like you felt with that shore pushing you out. And you kind of feel the envelope pull across you, like wax paper gently moving across you, going through a threshold. And you feel the rush of the shore and the waves push you. And as you're looking towards the shore, you see Flora bending down, attached to a rope, and Basura lying on the sand, just starting to sit up as you are able to stand and move towards the shore, no longer swimming.
Oh my goodness.
How about let's not do that again?
I think my god's mad at me.
We need to talk about your god, sir.
Maybe away from the water, though.
There doesn't seem to be a solid connection with the divine here.
Maybe
Maybe
not.
for you. Definitely for me.
I mean, I've seen Lotus here, so there's a connection for me.
Oh, there's a connection for me too, but it's broken. It's halted. But sir, are you okay? You just sort of kingfishered out?
Yeah, I'm gonna explain what I saw and what I felt when I was in the water.
Interesting. I felt that there was some sort of a force there myself.
That sounds pretty bad, honestly.
Snarf
Yeah.
and Sarloth, you break through and start to see, as you're going to the edge of the shore, and you see the scene laid out before you.
Did you guys just go swimming?
Not for leisure.
I think we're with Tara.
Well, I wonder if she's with Vince McMahon manhandles.
I don't know this Vince.
You all may
what
continue
pantheon is
to do what you would like. I am going to talk with Miidyr. You guys can roleplay. That's fine. It's going to be kind of weird. I usually pull people into other rooms, but it's kind of hard when streaming, because that'll mess up a lot of things. So if you guys want to listen,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
You guys want to roleplay, that's fine as well.
Right. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No, we'll listen.
Miidyr, as you are sitting and feeling your emotions, almost like a geyser has been opened. These things that have been repressed and constricted and pushed down are now releasing. But there's something that feels wrong. And as you swiftly look to your left, you see a face behind one of the trees looking at you. It is hard to discern. They are blended, almost looking like the foliage themselves, and beginning to, as you wait and wait, they don't blink.
Well, that makes me uncomfortable. Do I remember which direction the guys took off in for
South.
the sundial? South.
Yep.
Okay. Is there a way for me to like go that direction while keeping eye contact on this thing or person?
I will give you another perception check with disadvantage, but yes. Oh, okay. That's basically the same. You're able to kind of move, and it almost looks like you're kind of backing up, and you move and you keep a track on. And then you hear and there is a horrible sting into the side of your thigh. And there's a warmth as you look down, and there is a arrow on the upper thigh that is deep. And you see your blood pouring out. You have one action that you can take.
I'm gonna scream Saul at the top of my lungs.
Okay. Saul. Excuse me. Sarloth. You may make a perception with disadvantage due to your exhaustion.
Because I am sleepy boy.
Correct.
Perception.
Okay.
Oh God. That's a nat one.
Okay. Well,
No.
nothing happens to you. You hear nothing. You...
Got temporary death.
Miidyr, as you are yelling and screaming Saul, all of a sudden you feel this cold move up. Almost as though it is a calming medicine. And you feel it grip up, almost as though a ghost is grabbing your vocal cords. And they begin to not work. And as you try to talk, it is just... And as you begin to feel your body limp and give way and fall upon the floor, the mud hitting your face, and as though you want to blink to remove the wet mud from your right eye, it seeps in, and you feel the cold grittiness of it upon your cornea, slowly moving. And before your sense of hearing is dulled, there's a language and a people that are moving quickly around you. Footsteps. Leaves being moved. Branches being bent. As though the previous assault was a surprise, and this is the time to move. You feel a weight and a pressure underneath your armpits as your midriff feels pressed and dragged from the mud and then across roots. And though the scraping and the digging into your flesh would elicit a response, you only feel pain. And there is a brutalish and uncaring pulling as your arms are tied and dragged deeper within as the vision becomes fish-eyed, tunneled, and then black. Those on the beach. Basura seems out of sorts. and Tsena has reached the shore.
Are you okay, Basura?
I'm gonna sit up and kind of dust the sand off my back. Gonna immediately kind of scurry over, grab my tricorn, put it back on. And then I'm gonna say, let's head back to the tent. We need to have a war meeting.
Okay. A war meeting, okay.
Are you all right? Does your leg hurt? Are you feeling okay? You just flew 50 feet.
Just another Tuesday.
All right. I'll follow along.
I'm gonna walk up to Snarf and Saul.
We're building a sundial. What are you guys doing?
It's a very technical piece of scientific equipment.
Don't you just stick a stick in the ground and figure out where north is, and you look at the shadow?
I think it's something like that.
They're delicate and they're important. Knowing the time can help one figure out where one is.
'Cause
Among
I'm
other
pretty
things.
sure, with all these subtropic trees around here, that we definitely ain't up north where we used to be. We gotta be like way west or like way south.
It does
Do
seem like
you
we have
know
traveled
where
a fair
north
distance.
is?
Not yet. That's why we're gonna get the sundial.
I will give Snarf and Basura. Yes, they know where north is. The others aren't so keen on survival. But because of the experience, yes.
I definitely north, but I don't know. We could be all the way up north by Surupixstan, you know, like who knows how far north we are. You know, but yeah, we'll get this time. Me and Saul got a plan working out. What are you guys working on?
Do they have a lot of maple trees in Surupixstan?
Actually, yes, I think they did. AKA Maplelandia.
Borders Canada and Canadian. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's all the damn trees. Oh no.
Saul, how much do you know about Sarloth? Sorry. How much do you know about Terra?
Not much, I mean... the
Give me a
basics that we
religion
know.
check.
There you go. She's from the water, right?
Because if you get high enough, I'll give you the entire fucking description of her.
does it have to be a disadvantage though?
It technically does.
It's a 21 on my insight and 11 on my religion.
Yeah, your insight, yep.
I know very little about Tara. Religion never held quite a lot of sway with me. I find it to be vicious.
Yes, but a captain on a ship for 15 years who knows little will know more about a seaman on a ship that's only been there for a month.
Sarloth, I have sent you on Discord the information you learned about Tara.
See that?
We saw it on the stream.
Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. I know Discord. That's okay.
She's from the water.
A what?
Storms, deities, oceans. I'm very tired this morning. I should not have stayed
I
up all
think
night.
she has something to do with the festival or Shay.
Yes. Also, apparently, an unnecessary screaming.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
I don't know a lot about her, I'm afraid.
Same.
Sarloth. There's a back of your mind connection. Something's wrong. Something is very wrong. And with Miidyr.
I say, where is my wife?
Tell you one thing, she's not in the water.
That's good. That's probably a good thing.
But
Thank you. Yes. But-
right.
She was just with us. Where has she gone?
Firewood?
Did you guys split up?
We left her on a stump back that way. She had a bit of a moment, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Was it my thinking stump or the other stump?
I don't believe it was molded to your ass cheek, so I'm going to say the other stump.
I really hope it's not the other stump. I'm gonna look him like in the eyes, like very seriously.
Uh-oh.
My eyes are going
I think
to
we
the
need to go
water.
back to the other stump. I think the sundial can wait. It's not like her to just disappear.
Yo, she like poofed.
Basura, what's wrong with the other stump?
Yeah, Basura.
Yeah.
Let me know what's wrong with the other
Yeah.
stump.
Sorry.
What's good with that stump?
I'm gonna like cover Flora's ears, like try to cover Flora's ears.
Oh,
I can still hear around them.
okay. You feel, Flora, as you feel these wet, scaly hands just kind of go and start to grab your head.
Absolutely not.
If you
Can
will
we focus on the
continue,
stump, please?
Basura, that is fine. But there will be a grapple check. She's
Ooh.
actively not wanting your hands around.
I'm just gonna drop my hands defeated.
Mhm.
I'm gonna look at the ground and be like, so, when you get lonely,
I think I've heard enough. She just
Oh,
starts
God.
walking in the direction
We're
they
gonna
pointed
throw up.
where Miidyr was at.
I'm gonna point towards Flora and be like, I'm gonna go.
So, I could never really find that stump either.
Never want to see that stump again, but I need to find my wife, so... Off to the rutting stump we go.
Look out to the water and try to listen, because I just had an experience being pulled from the shore, and I'm thinking if she's not, here, pulling would be my first thought right now.
Yeah, go and give me a perception check. As the party moves deeper back to the hut, the hut itself seems to be eroded. There are now mold points, insect burrowing marks where wood has been removed and replaced. And it is almost a phantom image of what it was before. You can see Flora's pots and pans that she had left around the campfire for her treats are now rusted, chipped, and have created a deeper age. Your pots?
Okay, I can just shine this rust out. You know what? I'm just gonna collect all of this and I'm gonna work on it later.
All right.
I do really feel like the sooner we get off this cursed island, the better.
Something about aging rapidly in some places. Let's find Miidyr and maybe, I don't know, follow the itch. Maybe we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's strange.
Yes, I not one for adventure, but I think in this moment I agree.
As you approach the stump that you saw Miidyr on, I need those that have it to be able to make a investigation check that are proficient in it, a survival check, those that are proficient in it, and a no, sorry, not Let's just go with those two, survival and okay, perception. Okay.
Oh, am I still blessed?
You have it. I will give you advantage. And yes, you're still blessed.
You said survival and perception, Alex.
Well,
Correct.
it only lasts for a minute, but I mean, rule of cool, man.
Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead.
He was 100% waiting for one of us to be alone.
I don't see shit.
Hello.
13.
Yes, 13.
Survival.
Okay, 13 survival. Sarloth is 11.
Nope.
Oh,
that's
7.
7.
Sorry.
Yep.
Snarf is 20. Damn. Tsena is 19. Okay. Where's Basura?
I'm not proficient with any of those, but I'm.
Oh, okay. If you're not
Oh,
okay, if you're not proficient, that's fine.
Being like
From before.
Yeah,
this was
I
my
wasn't. either,
crying
actually.
stump.
Yeah, if you're not proficient in perception or survival, no check can be made.
No, that
perception
19
or
was
investigation?
from. You said make a perception check when I was looking around for it. That's what that 19 was.
So are you proficient?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
roll
okay.
With that.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's okay. Okay, so we have a 20 with Snarf, a 7 with Sarloth.
Nope,
And-
I'm not proficient either, Alex.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have Flora and Snarf, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Snarf. As you approach, kind of around, kind of hanging out and looking around the stump that Miidyr sat upon, there was 4 small footprints that seemed to approach the stump and then move away from it in a very quick manner. And there is an odd thing. Normally, as you, who have existed in Kanamanamanada, there is...
I know where that's at.
Yeah. When you're hunting, and when you're trying to hunt big beast, there is sign. And with this, there's no sign. There's no drag marks. There's no blood. There's only footprints in, which, again, you don't recognize, and then footprints out. Flora, with your 13, you see kind of the same thing. You see things that are coming in and things that are going out. But nothing that reminds you of Miidyr. There's no drag marks. There's no scales from her fiend-like skin. There's no pieces of cloth. But there is a definite something was here, and then something went away.
I mumble to myself, "Oh, Lotus, show me the way." And I'm gonna start kind of following those little footsteps I see, if I can.
Yep.
Vince McMahon handles, is that you? I'm gonna follow him too.
Snarf, give me a wisdom check.
Oh, what do we got here? Wisdom. I got all my glass on my stupid head. Oh, wisdom's over here. Wisdom check.
Indeed, it is Vince McMahon handles.
Hey, man.
Him and his widow feet.
12. As you are like, hey, Vince McMahon handles, come on. There's a feeling as though the essence bends and starts to try to think of that thought. and then pushes it away.
Wait, no. What was I just? Who was I thinking about? Did you guys see these feet prints? Dave, we're just here.
If I look at these prints, can I tell approximate size, or is it the sand like too?
These are smaller than the party that you're in. So every person that is in this group, the footprints are smaller.
Oh. Are they human? I mean, do they have like 5-toe prints and a padded foot, or is it more like a boot?
Or is it
No,
moved?
there is a heel, a soft pad, and 3 toes.
Tripods.
Thank God it's not the coconut crabs.
I heard they.
Bro,
Watch me the
Vicious.
coconut crabs.
y'all just gotta
Vicious.
wait. Those coconut crabs coming.
Oh shit.
Rip you apart in your sleep.
The only thing
I
I
am
can think
going
of.
to start calling out for Miidyr into the
Are you screaming?
office. Fuck, not screaming, but like, you know,
Like regular, like, hey, Miidyr.
like a little louder.
I need
Like a
I need a
yell,
description of
raised
what you're
voice.
doing.
Yeah, like a raised voice. Like I don't want to scream, and I'm not yelling, but I will be like, there's panic and concern, and it's
Okay.
because my wife is missing.
Okay. Noted. Your pattern of that. Tsena, continue.
Oh, it looks like the only thing I can think of is she saw an animal, called it over, and rode off on it.
She rode off on an animal with smaller feet than hers. That seems quite unlikely.
Well, it's not the size of the feet; it's the quantity.
I don't believe that's how that works, and I'm very concerned
Oh.
about my missing wife now.
I am also now really concerned.
Like,
I
can
just
hear
thought
her
about what I
laughing
said.
still.
I'm sorry.
That's
There's
okay.
trickery afoot.
Do the tiny feet look followable? Followable.
Followable.
Follow.
Fall.
Go ahead and give me a
foul.
survival check, buddy.
In the
They look like
beginning,
a fowl. Like a chicken fowl.
Chicken. Foul. Chicken.
Chicken fowl.
8.
Ooh.
Does he still have a bliss?
Yeah. I
Oh,
will
you
allow it
are
for. Let me
blessed.
look. This is the last check. I will allow one more blast check.
You are blessed.
So you can roll a d4 to add to that. A 1. Um.
And a 9.
No. As you are trying to discern how these small-footed people came up to it, it was almost chaos. As though it was a jump. And what had ever happened after the task, the legs have gone, or the footprints were all over the place. Left, right, encircling upon themselves, back. You are unable to determine where the general direction of things were.
Guys, I got nothing. Last time I was on this island, I don't remember seeing anybody. Especially think the tiny feet.
I'm not designed to survive without Miidyr. This is not my
Wonder
area
how
of
they
expertise.
got in through the force field.
I don't care about the force field right now. I would just like to find my wife and get the hell off of this shit-ass island with its fucking trunk.
Got all that thump in your trunk.
I'm gonna look up and kind of mumble, I'm sorry, Tara.
By the holy grace of Vince McMahon handles, let us find Miidyr.
He's a nervous creature when I'm not around.
Has anybody determined which tracks are going and which ones are arriving?
I
Did,
could not.
did I?
Mm-mm.
Or can I
Just
attempt to?
kind of came.
You can attempt. Yeah, give me a survival check. I don't see any survival check for that. For you,
Natural
so-
20, baby.
Oh,
Let me see.
shit.
Oh, shit.
Let me see into the future.
As you're looking down, you know this as you have dealt with children. This is a pattern of poke and run. Poke and run. And you see that there is a dominant tract of these footprints that are disguised among these almost playful like tracks that seem to go in and out and jump, move around. And there is as you start to move yourself down towards the ground and pull your hands over and kind of look around the evidence, there is a dust, almost a greenish white like dust that seems to kind of haphazardly fall upon the footprints in a random like pattern. Small, almost imperceptible to those that aren't focusing enough. And your Fey origin seems to pull in. They're floating her.
All of like Flora's fur on her the back, like the back of her neck, and you guys see it just standing straight up, and like her ears then go straight back, and she says, "Follow me. We're gonna get her." And then I'm gonna just like leap into the forest.
Oh, the bunny's running.
Come on, Sal, quick.
Fight her.
I'm on her heels.
Mm-hmm. Everyone
Feels
starts.
like a game to me. Yeah, I'll charge on in after him.
Flora,
I
as you
still
begin.
don't think she's in danger.
Flora, as you jump in and begin to feel the multiple flora and leaves brushing against your fur, you land on soft ground and push yourself forward each jump. Go ahead and give me a dexterity save.
15.
As you land in a mud pile, there's a feeling of structure and solidness or solidness underneath you. And there is a quick as you hear behind you as vines that have been dried unleash them on the mud as it sprays everywhere, and you are able to jump back and pull yourself out as it wraps around an empty catch.
I wait for everybody to catch up while trying to keep an eye on that scent trail, baby.
Yep. No, you're good on that natural 20. I'm okay with that.
So just be wary of traps.
Oh joy, traps. Just what we needed.
Not to worry though. The just everything seems kind of like playful. So maybe she might not be in trouble, but definitely it's
Why
concerning.
would she set traps for us?
I don't think it's her. I point out what I saw as like children's feet kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have never hit a child before, but if they harm my wife, I might.
If you'll allow, as soon as she lets Tsena know that she thinks that Miidyr's been carried off, he's gonna get this like look of, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't think of that on his face, and shoot off sprinting past her to try and
Okay.
try and save the tiefling.
as the party moves quickly through the Flora and pushing past as Tsena and Flora are able to navigate. Miidyr.
Yeah.
As you come to consciousness, briefly, you see figures that resemble elves, but are not sharp in feature, don't have that regality that you're used to. And callow, pompous, and circumstance seems to override one's race. But here, this is more rotund. And as your half slits of eyes look around, as you feel the roots and bare ground drag upon your tailbone, each person ignores every movement you make. But there's a rhythm. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, or history check. I'm giving you this because of Sarloth.
Yeah, she does listen to me at dinner.
Yep.
Not that well.
Sex.
Oh,
I try. It's
You
hard. It's
remember
lot.
a particular conversation that Saul talked to you about. And there was a brief mention of a people. And then it's lost. And as the scrapes and bumps and the ever-present feeling of the ground beneath you increases with your awareness and awakeness, this is one of the few moments where there is no attention to you. Your wrists are bound and tied up to the rickets and the bamboo-like structures up above. And there is a feeling of drowsiness, lack of comprehension, as you look down to your right where the arrow had struck you. And it is bandaged.
So they don't want me dead yet, at least. I think I'm gonna just kind of, as much as I can while I'm awake, just watch and observe them. There's no point in fighting at this moment. Just gotta bide my time for a more vulnerable place.
I'll give you a perception check with advantage, as that is basically the only thing you can do is look. So you have no distractions. 12. As you look upon these elf-like beings and the language that they're speaking, there is a slight callback to Saul mentioning Proto-Illustrian languages. Things that are the basis or roots of the languages we see today. And you notice a few connections to that.
So possibly the same people who may have written that stuff in the hut. That's where Miidyr's brain would go.
Mm-hmm. And as you're being dragged, one of them notices you awake. Their skin of a sage-like green translucence. Their ears actually not as pointy as you remember elven ears. Tattoos of bioluminescence glow underneath their skin as though forced into their life essence. They look upon you, and they begin to slowly reach their hand down.
I just watch them silently. Like, I make no move to make a sound, to do anything. I just watch. Trying to keep my expression kind of like just open.
And as they look at you, they stop 6 inches above the middle of your breast. And they place their hand down upon your ribcage. And they wait. And they see that almost languishing acceptance. And they pull back. And there's a curiosity akin to one experiencing something for the first time. And they move back into formation. And every now and then, you see a slight flicker of their eyes moving towards you.
I kind of watch them get back into formation and then just kind of watch the sky. Like, notice that they look in the corner of my eye, but I'm not gonna look at them again.
As everyone on the shore starts to follow the footprints, smaller ones. Sky above begins to bleed of black and grays, slowly diluting twinkling lights of white and silver that shift from view. And the connections that have been made seem to be otherworldly, odd. And as everyone moves forward deeper into the forest, there's a common goal, but a lack of connection behind it. And the humidity and the leaves seem to fill perceptions. And we'll end session there.
Oh man, into the woods.
Into the woods we go.
Into
Miidyr!
2 separate timelines, I think.